Stop scroll right now, because what just happened might not be as simple as it looks. Welcome back to Jikook Lover, the place where the smallest moments turn into the biggest questions. Did you catch it? That exact second when Jungkook froze. Not just paused, not just surprised, but completely still, like something caught him off guard the moment Jimin stepped closer. Before we break this down, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this was just a coincidence or something deeper? Because what you're about to see might change the way you look at Jikook forever. In the middle of a dazzling stage filled with lights, music, and thousands of voices echoing in unison, something unexpected happened. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. There were no fireworks marking the moment. And yet, somehow, it became the one thing people couldn't stop talking about. It was subtle, almost invisible. But for those who noticed, it changed everything. The atmosphere, at first, felt completely normal. The performance flowed naturally, energy radiating from every movement. The members interacted the way they always do, effortless, synchronized, and full of charisma. Nothing seemed out of place. Until, suddenly, something shifted. Jimin started walking closer. There was no obvious reason to question it. He had crossed the stage countless times before. But this time, something about it felt different. The pace of his steps, the direction of his focus, the way his presence seemed more intentional than usual. And then there was Jungkook. At the beginning, he looked relaxed, calm, completely in the moment. But in just a matter of seconds, something changed. Not dramatically, but enough to make anyone paying close attention pause and wonder. He froze, not like someone who forgot what to do next, not like someone distracted, but like someone who suddenly became aware of something unexpected. His eyes fixed forward, his body held still for just a fraction longer than normal. And in that brief moment, everything else seemed to fade into the background. What did he see? Was it just timing? Just coincidence? Or was there something in the way Jimin approached that triggered that reaction? Fans quickly began replaying the clip, over and over again, slowing it down, zooming in, analyzing every detail, every movement, every micro-expression that might hold an answer. And that's when the theories began. Some insisted it was nothing more than a natural reaction, something that happens all the time on stage. But others weren't convinced. They pointed out the specifics, the way Jungkook's gaze seemed to follow Jimin, the slight tension in his posture, the pause, so small, yet impossible to ignore. It felt too precise to be random. Even more intriguing, Jimin didn't seem unaware. His approach didn't feel accidental. It wasn't just a passing moment. There was direction, there was focus, and maybe something unspoken. Could this really be just another ordinary interaction, amplified by fans? Or was it the opposite, a real moment, too quick and too subtle, almost slipping past unnoticed? As the clip spread across platforms, reactions poured in from around the world. Some were shocked, some were curious, some tried to stay logical, but no one could fully dismiss it. Because if it was truly nothing, why did it feel like something? Why did a single second spark thousands of discussions? And why, out of countless moments on stage, did this one make people stop, rewind, and question everything? Maybe the truth will never be fully clear. Maybe it will remain one of those moments that live on through interpretation and speculation. A few seconds long, slightly blurry, captured from a distance, framed by stage lights and movement. The kind of footage that usually fades into the endless stream of concert moments shared online every day. But this one didn't fade. It lingered. It replayed itself in the minds of those who saw it, like a question that refused to be answered. Because the more people watched it, the less simple it seemed. There was something about the timing that didn't quite add up. The way everything aligned too perfectly, the step, the glance, the pause. It wasn't chaotic. It wasn't random. If anything, it felt almost synchronized in a way that didn't rely on choreography. And that's when fans started noticing details that weren't obvious at first glance. The distance between them. Not far, not too close, just enough to create tension. The kind of space where something could happen, but doesn't, or maybe almost does. Jimin's movement slowed just slightly as he approached, subtle enough that it could easily be dismissed. But paired with Jungkook's reaction, it began to look less like coincidence and more like a moment unfolding with intention. Then there was Jungkook's expression. It wasn't exaggerated. No wide eyes, no dramatic gestures. But that's exactly what made it stand out. It was controlled, almost like he was aware of the cameras, aware of a stage, aware of everything. And yet, for that split second, something slipped through. A flicker, a pause, a break in the rhythm. And for fans who have watched them for years, that break meant everything. Because consistency is what makes a difference noticeable. And Jungkook wasn't consistent in that moment. The conversation online quickly shifted from curiosity to analysis. Side-by-side comparisons began to appear. Clips from past performances, other interactions, other moments where they crossed paths on stage. People weren't just watching anymore. They were connecting, trying to understand if this moment stood alone or if it was part of something bigger. Some pointed out similarities to previous interactions, small gestures, brief glances, moments where their timing seemed just slightly more aligned than expected. Others argued that this was different, that this felt heavier, more charged. And then came the slow-motion edits. Frame by frame, the moment stretched longer than it actually was. What originally lasted less than a second now felt like an eternity. Every micro-movement magnified, every shift in posture examined. In one frame, Jimin's hand appears to lift slightly. In another, Jungkook's gaze sharpens. And in between those frames, there's that pause again. That same pause that started everything. But what makes a moment like this so powerful isn't just what's visible. It's what isn't. The absence of clear explanation. The lack of confirmation. The silence. Because silence creates space. And in that space, imagination takes over. Some fans believe it was purely instinctive. A natural reaction between two people who are used to working closely together, reading each other's movements without thinking. In that interpretation, the moment becomes something almost technical, a reflection of chemistry built through years of performing side by side. But others see something else entirely, something more personal, more emotional. They point to the way Jungkook's body doesn't just react, but hesitates. The way his posture shifts, not outwardly, but internally. The kind of reaction that isn't rehearsed, isn't planned, and isn't meant to be seen. And if that's true, then what triggered it? Was it the proximity, the eye contact, or something that happened just before the clip began, something the camera didn't capture? Because that's another layer to this mystery. What we see might not be the full story. Every viral moment has a beginning we don't witness, and an ending we can't fully interpret. We step into the middle of it, trying to piece together meaning from fragments. And in this case, those fragments are just enough to raise questions, but not enough to answer them. Even more interesting is how quickly the narrative evolved. At first, people asked, did that really happen? Then, what does it mean? And now, what are we seeing? That shift, from observation to interpretation to speculation, is what transforms a simple clip into something much bigger. Something almost myth-like within the fandom. Because once a moment reaches that level, it stops being just about the people in it. It becomes about what it represents. For some, it represents connection, the kind that doesn't need to be explained to be understood. For others, it represents mystery, an unsolved puzzle that invites endless theories. And for a few, it represents nothing at all, just another example of how easily perception can be shaped by perspective. But even those who try to dismiss it completely often find themselves watching it again. Just one more time, just to be sure. And that's the strange power of moments like this. They don't demand belief. They invite doubt, because doubt keeps the conversation alive. As hours turned into days, the clip continued to circulate. Edits became more creative. Some added music, emphasizing the emotional weight of a pause. Others stripped everything away, presenting the raw footage as evidence, clean, unfiltered, open to interpretation. Fan discussions grew longer, more detailed, more intense. Some dissected body language with almost scientific precision. Others focused on emotional intuition, what it felt like, rather than what it looked like. And somewhere between those two approaches, the moment continued to exist, unchanged, yet constantly redefined. Interestingly, neither Jungkook nor Jimin addressed it. No mention, no clarification, no acknowledgement. And that silence only added to the intrigue. Because in a world where so much is documented, explained, and shared, the absence of explanation becomes its own kind of statement. Not a confirmation, not a denial, just space. Space for interpretation, space for imagination, space for the moment to grow beyond itself. And maybe that's why it resonates so strongly. Because it isn't complete, it doesn't give closure, it leaves something open, something unresolved. And people are naturally drawn to what they can't fully understand. So the clip continues to live on, not just as a recording, but as an idea, a question, a possibility, something that can be revisited, reanalyzed, and reimagined over and over again.